Our first speaker is Anita Gerhardter, who is the CEO of Wings for Life. And the Wings for Life Run is a global charity event where it raises money for spinal cord injuries research projects. And Anita coordinates all the activities of the foundation, also initiates projects and manages strategic partnerships. And Wings for Life and its goal is very, very close to her heart. She is here today to tell you about how to unite the good deed and business. So, hello.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I love sports, and there is hardly anything that makes me happier than to ski in the early morning in fresh powder, than to hike and bike in the beautiful nature of the Austrian Alps. So sports for me is fun, excitement, it relaxes me. Sports is my source of happiness. And I guess all of you love sports too. After all, that's the reason we are all here today. And now imagine that all of a sudden, within split seconds, you can't move or feel your body anymore. You might have even difficulties breathing. And in the hospital, you are told by the doctor that you suffered a spinal cord injury. And from this day onwards, you will be paralyzed, and your chances of recovery are next to zero. And this is exactly what happened to this young man. Hannes Kindergartner suffered an accident while he was doing what he loved to do most, riding his motocross bike. And on the day of his accident, he did not only lose the ability to move or feel his body, he also lost his privacy. Because ever since that dreadful day, 15 years ago, he needs 24 hours care. And ever since that day, he has never been taking a shower on his own. He has never got dressed by himself. And he has never ever been to the toilet without assistance. And on top of all that, he lost the ability, what he loved to do most, riding his motocross bike. His father, Heinz Kindergartner, a 2-time motocross world champion, he just wasn't prepared to lean back and accept all the hardship that comes with a spinal cord injury. And he teamed up with his best friend, with Dietrich Mateschitz, the founder of Red Bull. And together, they invited leading neurologists and scientists to Salzburg to find out about the present state in spinal cord research. And they wanted to know, is there anything that could be done? And all these experts reported, yes, there is legitimate hope of finding a cure, but there is not enough money invested into that field of research because there are not enough people affected. So it would make it worthwhile for the pharmaceutical industry to invest into that field of research. And this information basically was the hour of birth for Wings for Life, because the two of them decided spinal cord injury must not remain a question of money. So 1 year after the tragic accident of Hannes Kindergartner, the Wings for Life Spinal Cord Research Foundation got established in 2004. And ever since that day, we are supporting and financing neuroscientists all over the globe who try to find a cure for spinal cord injury. And these scientists, they work in such renowned institutions like the Harvard Medical School, Cambridge University, the Charité in Berlin, and many, many other high-class institutions all around the world. And as you can imagine, medical research, spinal cord research is a very, very cost-intensive matter. So luckily, we got a very strong partner with the Red Bull company. But nevertheless, throughout the years, we were always thinking, how we can reach out to more people, how can we win more supporters, how can we put our fundraising on a broader basis. And this is how the idea for the Wings for Life World Run was born. Back in 2012, an event manager of Red Bull approached me, and he said that he had written a concept about a unique global running event. And he painted the scenery of simultaneous people starting all over the world, no set distance, as the runners would get a head start, and they would be chased by the moving finish line, a so-called catcher car. And I was listening to him, and I was absolutely thrilled by this scenery, and I thought, this is it. This is exactly what we were looking for. And yes, I'm very capable of great enthusiasm. And no, I didn't do a proper analytical check. And we started to work right away on this project. And it took me about, I would say, 3 months till I realized what a logistical and technical nightmare it was. I was absolutely horrified by the dimension of this project. But in the meantime, project groups had been formed. There was already money invested into the development, and the whole Red Bull company was informed and on board and ready to go. So there was no way we could have backed off. And so we started to face our challenges. The first challenge, and what I had totally underestimated, was to find the right day. A day that would not collide with other big events. It would provide the right climatic conditions all over the world, and it would not clash with any national holidays. For example, next year on our race day, on May 5th, 2019, the Ramadan will be starting. So we expect very few runners in Muslim countries, because with no eating and drinking, it will be difficult. The second challenge was to find the right starting time, because we wanted to make sure that the majority of the runners would run during daytime, and we couldn't cross the date line because we are proposing one date. Next year it's the 5th of May, so we must not cross the date line. So that was also a bit challenging. And then, of course, the catcher car speed, the moving finish line. So we had to make sure that it would enable beginners to take part. It had to be right for average sportive people, but it also had to satisfy the ultra distance runners. So there was a lot of calculating going on. And then the technical setup, which to me was a real nightmare. This is a look into the global race control. So it takes more than 200 people working in there on topics like GPS tracking, timekeeping, work on the live TV production. Amongst many other topics, we had to make sure that we received the data from all the runners all around the world in real time, so our runners would get their global running ranking 5 seconds after they have been taken over by the catcher car. So the first time I went into the global race control, I was in shock, because to me it felt like I accidentally had broken into the NASA headquarters. It was just, it was amazing. So, and after we had addressed all those issues, we faced the biggest challenge. We had to motivate runners to participate and sign up. And we always ran into the same problem. People would ask us, how far do I have to run? And we would say, I don't know, totally depends on you. So it was a total new running concept. People were not used to it. They wanted to know, how far is it? So this concept was difficult to sell to people who are used to do a 5 or 10K run or cover a half or a marathon distance. Plus, we didn't have any film material we could have shown for promotion matters, because such an event had never been done before. So After 2 years, almost 2 years of preparation and many sleepless nights, we finally pulled it off, and on May 4th in 2014, the very first Wings for Life World Run took place.
Wings for Life World Run 2014. Around about 200 cameras worldwide bringing you these television pictures with 50 individual satellite paths. I could go on and on and on. It is a massive operation. Across 6 continents, in 32 countries and 34 different locations at exactly the same time, in daylight, at night, at dawn or dusk, sunshine or rain. Today is a true global running adventure. Today, the focus of the Wings for Life World Run is running for those who can't, raising funds and awareness to find a cure for spinal cord injuries. Everybody waiting patiently.
Thousands of athletes queuing up to get across the start line.
34 locations across the world will all start at the same time, and it's good to go. The Wings for Life World Run is away and running. There is no finish line. Every athlete out there has a different goal. We expect the elite athletes to go hard. We expect the amateur runners to have a fantastic time and raise a lot of money for what is a great cause on the world stage.
Every cent, remember, of their entry money has gone towards this wonderful charity, Wings for Life.
Different time zones across the world, and all 4 seasons, this promises to be an intriguing, an exciting, a fascinating afternoon of running. 30 minutes into the competition, away go our catcher cars, and of course the speeds do increase as the competition unfolds. And the catcher cars across 32 different countries are out, and their task is to catch our runners.
I think it's an absolutely superb concept.
It's a global running adventure.
The smiles are everywhere, and it's because of the nature of the event.
The first athlete has been caught by the catcher car. I think she's pretty happy that she has to go no further.
That's wonderful, that's wonderful.
And the catcher car starts to reel them in. Oh, lovely pictures.
Big names from the world of athletics, current superstars supporting this fabulous cause.
That is a great run for a pro snowboarder.
Absolutely brilliant. It's all about taking part. Athletes busting a gut to try and stay ahead of the catcher car.
We're running for those who can't. What a spectacular shot that is.
The athletes all know they're running for a really good cause.
Away goes Ketamar with that classic Ethiopian kick.
This is fabulous.
Come on, Kleber.
Do you know, the energy reserves and the mental reserves of strength, absolutely staggering.
We've heard stories from so many people that have run so much further than they actually predicted and set out to do. An absolute success.
Muchas gracias a todos ustedes.
Thank you, everybody.
Vielen Dank, dass mitmacht.
Hvala.
Danke.
Thank you.
Tuck, and thanks to everybody who ran.
All of the team. This has been a mammoth operation, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your company from all of the team. It's goodbye for now.
So for our big relief, the Wings for Life World Run was an instant big success because people just loved the concept. And we had people from every walk of life participating, every race, gender, athletic ability. It was absolutely amazing. And now, looking back on the past 5 years, I can share some impressive numbers with you. So far, more than 500,000 runners took part, coming out of 193 nations, and together they covered the staggering distance of 5.2 million kilometers, which equals 7 times the distance to the moon and back. But the most impressive number and the most important one for us is this one. With this event, we managed to raise 23.6 million euros for spinal cord research. And this wouldn't have been possible Of course, without the help of the Red Bull company, but also on all of these days, we had 43,000 volunteers out on race day in total so far, and it just wouldn't have been possible without them. And now I would like to show you what we do with that money. So far, ever since we got started, we have supported 192 research projects all around the world. And the one I'm going to present you now is one we are really especially proud of. This young man got injured in a sporting accident 8 years ago, and you're going to see his story now.
Over the past 30 years, various research groups have stimulated the spinal cord electrically to restore walking after paraplegia. And after intense rehabilitation, a select few individuals were able to take a few steps, but only with electrical stimulation. And nobody understood why. My team took the time to understand the science behind it, which allowed us to stimulate the spinal cord as the brain would do naturally. And the result was completely unexpected. After several months of training with electrical stimulation, our 3 participants were able to activate their previously paralyzed muscles without electrical stimulation. I mean, they could even take a few steps over ground, hands-free, without any support. For me, seeing this recovery was amazing.
So for me, it was incredible to see all these patients moving their legs without electrical stimulation.
While these results are incredible, they are not completely unexpected because we have observed the pronounced growth of new nerve connections in rats when delivering the exact same intervention.
Instead of applying continuous electrical stimulation, the Swiss team developed targeted electrical stimulation that promotes a physiological activation of the spinal cord. This means that trains of electrical pulses are delivered at specific locations which are controlled in real time in order to mimic how the brain normally activates the spinal cord. Within a few weeks, this Swiss precision allowed hands-free walking in people who had sustained a spinal cord injury more than 4 years ago. So how does it work? An electrode array connected to a pulse generator is surgically implanted over the region of the spinal cord that controls leg muscles.
So this surgery needed to be very precise in order to target all the muscles of the legs. So for me, it was amazing to work with a team of engineers who came with their cutting-edge technologies to guide my surgery.
The timing of the stimulation is controlled in real time to coincide with the intended movements of the legs. Voluntary leg movements stop as soon as the electrical stimulation is turned off, but resume immediately when the stimulation is switched on again.
One of the key moments, I would say, was when I started walking hands-free on the treadmill. A lot of bodyweight support, but really letting the bars go and do 1, 2, 3 steps without using my hand was really crazy because I just couldn't do it before. Yeah, 3 steps!
All our participants regained control over their paralyzed muscle, but they still worked a lot better with the electrical stimulation, which compelled us to develop very practical technology that they could use in their everyday life.
A watch that responds uniquely to their own voice allows each participant to switch the stimulation on and off. Wireless technologies control the timing of electrical stimulation in real time, enabling the individuals to walk freely in ecological settings. 3 participants were involved in the study, and they are all regaining some autonomy. But this is just the beginning.
The next step is to start earlier, just after the injury, when the potential of recovery is much larger.
We obtained an important proof of principle in 3 individuals, but the challenge for us is to make this a treatment for everyone in the future.
Wings for Life has financed the work of Professor Courtine from the very beginning onwards, and he now already applied for the follow-up study for funding. So this is an amazing breakthrough, and it's a huge step towards finding a cure. And this has got the potential to change the lives of thousands of people. And now, of course, we have to keep pushing. We also have to make sure that also in the future, we will be able to provide the much needed funds for neuroscientists so they can continue the search of finding a cure. And therefore, I would like to invite all of you on May 5th, 2019, to sign up and join us at the Wings for Life World Run. It would be amazing to see you at the start line, and please also bring your friends and family. Thank you very much. I was very quick. We can do in Q&A.
Yeah, sure. That's why we're here. So first of all, thanks a lot for coming, and it was a cool story, and we're very pleased that you're dealing with this type of things, because most of us actually are having friends with similar problems and looking for a solution. And I think that it's more and more, and that businesses, in parallel of doing business, doing something good as well, and not just being little bit socially responsible, but actually funding certain concrete things to get something done also socially, instead in addition to business. And even if they are not doing it during their business, they do it afterwards. I mean, Bill Gates, we fund this 33 billion, I think. Now they try to do it, but you can do it during their business, not after you have finished your career as a businessman. But do you have like other cool examples in the world of companies who are doing similarly, dealing with things that there is a commercial company and then leading this type of big research project or social project in parallel?
You mean it's also in medical research or,
no,
in general?
Whatever field, yeah.
Well, I think nowadays for companies, it is a must to do something on the social sector. So it is not acceptable anymore to not have a project you are dedicated to. So, but now this question comes out of now. Let me think. Well, we have many companies who support the Wings for Life, but they're like smaller companies. You wouldn't know them. Or one big one is like Audi. We just started the cooperation with them. So, yeah, we have lots of corporate partnerships.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, today we know that we are like a social business. It's got SCULT. I mean, we have started socially and then now looking for business perspective as well, how to fund our core social activity. But the other set of companies are coming from a commercial side and looking for what is the field they can improve. But the audience, perhaps you have questions to Anita. No. Use the chance and we'll bring you the mic.
Just to add, okay, Yvonne.
Are the project teams of the several nations are professionals, or are there volunteers as well? You hired for a certain time, or how does it work?
The Red Bull company is present in 162 countries on this world. And so they have event manager and sports manager everywhere. So they organize the run, they pay for the costs, and all the income, the starting fees and sponsorship income goes towards the foundation. Yeah, and what I wanted to add is now 3 years ago, we also developed an app because we want to reach out to all the people around the world. So there is no excuse not to participate because it's really easy. You just have to download the app, sign up, and you can start running in front of your house if you want to. Or you join an organized app run or one of the big runs where the actual catcher car is chasing you. So if you go onto our website, wingsforlifeworldrun.com, you will find all the different possibilities.
Do you have volunteers also in the NASA Race Center?
It takes a lot of volunteers. As I said, in total, 43,000 so far.
But in the race center as well, I mean, they had huge number of computers. Is it volunteers or paid staff, or who they are?
Also, it's a mix because it takes, of course, a lot of professionals. As you have seen, this is quite a complex setup. But of course, also volunteers, yes.
Are you considering yourself more like a technology company or more sort of a social? Because where do your effort goes mostly? To how to keep the event going, or the science? No, which part is harder?
It's No, I mean, I do concentrate on the Wings for Life work, so distributing funds to neuroscientists who need support. And this is our biggest fundraising event in order to get the much needed funds. And this mainly is conducted by the Red Bull company. So I'm sitting in this project team together with a couple of colleagues of mine, but mainly I do concentrate on the Wings for Life work, which is in the scientific field.
Okay, thanks. Please give a microphone as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful and touching presentation. It was really fun to watch. I have two questions. One is your concept is quite a novel concept of running. Was it an issue for you to explain it to the participants?
Yes, a huge issue. Huge, because you know the runner community, they have their targets, and if you do a 10K run, you want to beat the time you had the last time, and we couldn't answer the question how far they would make it. I mean, we do have a goal calculator on our website, so approximately you will know how far you will make it, but I can't tell you beforehand. You know, there is just no way. And that was quite difficult. But once people participated, they loved the concept. And now they come back year after year and want to beat what they did last year.
But was there kind of strategy in place how to communicate this concept in the beginning, or was it just a lot of explaining what it is? And then
it was a lot of explaining, and we produced an animated film to show, you know, how it works and how the catcher car is coming, and so we had the whole comms team of Red Bull working on it, but still it was difficult the very first year.
Okay, and my second question is a short one. How do the runners get back to the starting place?
We choose the tracks that they can, like in Vienna, they run in a circle around the city, so they can use the subway station, or we collect them by bus or by train. Or it's really funny because this is also what the runners like so much. The community, you know, when you're getting collected at the 15K, you know, so you get to talk to the other participants. And like what the Belgium team did last year, that was really nice. They had the buses go up onto a stage, and people would get out and the crowd was cheering for them. There was a huge party going on. And also the fun concept is, if you're not so fit and not so fast, you are the first finisher. And you get to watch the others, because we are producing a 6-hour live TV show. And this was also a huge challenge, because to broadcast a big event, that has been done many times before, Olympics, World Championships, but to collect the data from so many different countries and then make a live stream out of it. We had 12 editors sitting at the base layer, and all of them received a couple of country signals. So the editor decided which signal was most relevant, most interesting. He sent it further up to the next layer. There were 4 editors also receiving a couple of country signals, and they did the same procedure, picking the most relevant one, and then the main editor got 4 country signals with which he was producing the live show. And then you also had to make sure that you gave equal time to the different countries. So, quite a task.
We did the run last year in Estonia, about 100 runners, and actually I think the winner of the run is here volunteering today. He can be telling you later on what it was. But in Tallinn we did it in Trummi, and we did it on a 2K circle. Yeah. And we had like a pit stop, music was playing, and then we were running. And Kelly Sildaru was running, Henry Sildaru was running.
Is there anyone in the audience who has run before? Oh, that's sad. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, she's running, but as I said, that the last year's winner of Estonia is outside, he's helping us out. He's here. And yeah, as we did the run, we saw how it worked. And I saw also that it's an app run, basically. If it's not a live run, like a few runs, when it's an app run, you see on the app how the car is following you. And the slower you are, the earlier the car is catching you.
And
so you are running against the car and against your fellow runners.
And the virtual catcher car driver is Axel Lindstwindal.
Exactly.
So he's chasing you.
Again, everything is a story. Thanks a lot, Anita. Thanks a lot for coming. And Anita's here during the day, so feel free to talk to her, and let's give a good big applause to her.